watch, observe, listen, take the information. I'm obsessed a lot of times. Sometimes, back in the day, I used to jump at the gun. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And now we find that, I think for me and Joe too, as a business, we find the happy medium now where we do take the chances, but we also make sure, okay, what is this going to do? Or how is this going to parlay? What is this going to work? I mean, again, for my business model, just in general, for me, when we started together, even him being a manager going, okay, what should we do? And I didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm like, well, I don't even know. They know me as NSYNC. Nobody knows me as anything else. Get a phone call, do Dance with the Stars. First show. Well, okay, nobody wants to see me dance.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs, folks. Today in the studio, I've got a real treat for you, motherfucking real Joey Fatone.
Real.
They know him but from NSYNC, I'm sure. This says singer, dancer, TV personality, actor, restaurateur, overall badass. What was your nickname growing up?
Fat one. That was my last name.
Were you fat?
I was as skinny as hell. I was a rail.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
So they called you the fat one?
It's my last name, Fatone.
Like, oh, I got you. Fat one.
Yeah, Fatone.
Man, I just
there you go.
At least you're telling the truth.
Yeah.
Shit, if I was you, I'd have said, they called me the Bone.
Yeah.
Joey the Bone.
Well,
Fatone.
that's what they call the fat one.
Hey, I like that. So listen, guys, you guys know him probably from NSYNC. If you're too young, you don't know who NSYNC is. It's like fucking, I think it was almost the beginning of boy bands, wasn't it?
In the sense of the cycle, I would say, because they've had New Kids on the Block, and then actually Boys to Men, and then
who was first?
We came. Oh, the original ones? Oof. Even before that, probably the Beatles, I would say, but more of a boy band.
No, they weren't a fucking boy band.
Well, they sang. They were a band.
Who was
the
original
as well.
first boy band? Menudo? You remember?
Jackson 5?
You remember?
Temptations? New Edition?
Again, I wouldn't even say Jackson 5.
New Edition was one then?
Maybe New Edition.
So
NSYNC was after New Edition?
Oh, yeah.
NSYNC was bigger than New Edition. NSYNC, I think, blew them all away, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say. I mean, you got Backstreet, who's pretty darn.
Backstreet did all right.
Yeah, very successful.
But not as good as NSYNC.
We're just better than them, regardless. Vocally, we're better, 100%.
Yeah,
I'll say that to anybody, any day.
And who was 98 Degrees? Wasn't there one of them?
Yep, Nick Lachey, Drew Lachey, Justin, and Drew.
Were they always jealous of you guys?
No, except when we would do something and we did it better, then yeah, I think sometimes that would happen.
Did you guys ever play together?
Yeah, we're actually friends. It's oddly enough where they have a lot of rivals stuff they used to say, but we were actually on a road, it was called Smash Hits Roadshow with 98 Degrees in the UK when we first started out. Probably around 97, 98, I believe.
What about Menudo?
Menudo was another group.
You remember them?
Yeah, of course.
See, I'm 54. How old are you?
I'm 46.
See, so I just missed NSYNC.
So
I didn't miss them. I knew who the fuck you guys were and all that. I've heard a million of your songs. I know exactly who you are, but I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't in your audience going, "Oh my God."
Of course not. Of course not. Understood.
But to me, when I think back of all the boy band era, dude, it was NSYNC that would fucking took the world by storm.
I think because we just, the way we kind of rolled together in the sense that we didn't take ourselves too seriously. We were not really so-called adult contemporary, had a lot of up-tempo stuff, and we all can sing and all can dance. I think that's kind of what really, and our personalities came out, I guess, when you saw us in a sense.
And we also got Joey Mulvihill up in this bitch. Huh?
Pronounce that good.
Yeah.
Most people screw it up.
They go Mulvihill, Mulvihill, they screwed all up.
So you guys been buddies forever.
Yeah.
For a while.
And are you like an agent? Like, are you like a business manager?
Yeah, like a manager.
So you do all the dealing. And you're not just his. You do a bunch of people's deals. You're a deal maker.
Yeah, some. Yeah.
For
some other acts. So.
Go ahead, Boys to Men. Who else?
Boys to Men.
Toot your own horn.
I did Salt and Pepper for a while, In Vogue, the Jackson Family. I do a lot of consulting, connect dots, pull people together. So
just
much in the entertainment game.
Just from all the connections.
Yeah, like we're here for F1 here, and tonight we have Scott Stapp performing at the practice.
That's
round.
Creed.
Yep, my guy.
Yeah.
Creed. We have him performing, and then tomorrow night Joey's performing with one of the guys from Backstreet. AJ. So it's
So again, there's your answer as far as like even the same thing, the rival stuff. So yeah, we've been things. Well, I've been doing,
but this is years later. I'm talking about back then.
Back then, they kept us apart. They just didn't want us to talk to each other. I think they made that a rival in itself to just kind of keep us, and especially with us and Backstreet, because we were actually with the same management team and pretty much around the same people.
I read something that said when you guys first started, when you were fucking blowing up, like you weren't making shit. They were making it all.
Mr. Lou Pearlman was taking it all.
What? How did you feel about that?
Like shit. What do you mean?
They were young.
You didn't know. We didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know anybody.
He was a business guy. He signed into a contract where he was 1/6
of the member.
But then his accounting firm did the accounting. His manager firm was a
His
manager.
his lawyers did everything. So he took a piece
if
of
a dollar
everything.
came in, 60 or 70 cents of that dollar would go to Lou, and then the remaining 30 would be split 6 ways.
I learned
Lou would
to
get another taste.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I learned a good word, and I learned a good word called recoupable when I was 17 years old. Very good word to learn because obviously
recoupable expenses.
everything that we were doing, he was just charging us and just taking the money back. Even dinners that he would say, "Oh, this is on me," but literally it was like he thought he was basically saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm taking care of it. Don't worry about it." And he was actually literally just charging it and just bringing it back to us and just paying himself back.
How'd you get out of that deal?
Went to court, filed out, and settled out of court.
Where was Mulva Hill then?
He wasn't. He was
there.
He was actually there. You were there.
Did you set the deal up?
I was right there.
He wasn't
set
my
the
manager
deal
there
up?
yet. He was working with me, but it was my manager
Working
yet.
with him.
Oh, okay.
But I was there fighting, man. I was fighting for them.
All right, good. Just
I
checking.
thought I was just suckering in, trying to make some money.
How old were you guys?
When I started, 17. Justin was 14, and Chris was 24. Like as far as the big span, so it went from 14 to 24.
There was only 3 of you?
No, but I'm saying 5. There's 5 of us. But as far as the ages, so if all ages, me and JC were 17, 18 years old. Justin was 14, Chris was 24, and Lance was 16.
Did they put you together or you knew each other?
Everybody knew somebody in one way, shape, or form. Back then, Lou Pearlman got Backstreet Boys together through some auditions. Chris knew one of the guys from the group from Backstreet Boys, wanted to get a group together in a sense, and Lou went to him and said, "Listen, you find some guys, I'll fund it." So basically, there was really no audition. So Chris went around to talk to some people. I knew Chris Kirkpatrick from working at Universal Studios, where me and him were doing Beetlejuice. He was a Beetlejuice show. It was called. There was another show which was a '50s doo-wop group that Chris was singing at Mel's Diner. So that's how come we knew each other. And then Chris knew Justin and JC from other auditions and stuff like that. And Lance was the only one that we didn't know that we got through Justin's vocal coach that used to train these kids in a group called Attaché in Jackson, Mississippi.
Are you all still buddies?
Yeah. We just saw each other yesterday. We did Trolls 3 premiere, so we were out there for that. That's why I have this red wackadoo streak in my hair for the Troll, because his hair was red, and I did this back in the day, so I did a little throwback.
Yeah, interesting. So 17 years old, bro, you get selected for this deal that goes crazy like that. I'm sure, like, how'd you handle it?
Well, first, it didn't go crazy at first.
No.
They put them together and they rehearsed for literally probably almost 2 years, 18 months.
Yeah, about 2 years, almost 2 years. Yeah.
And I remember all of us who worked in the theme park game would go see them. And we were like, this is terrible. It's never going to work. And they worked and worked and worked and worked. And they got a phone call last minute to go to Germany for a showcase. And they were so prepared from doing these 3 or 4 songs for 18 months. They flew over there and blew everybody away. And that was the deal.
That's when it started?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. They came and saw us first, and they said, "Listen, pack your bags." We thought we were going to do anything with them, but one of the main reasons is Jive actually got BMG. I'm sorry, BMG was with Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys left BMG, so left them with no boy band per se. Obviously, our management team was the same management as Backstreet, and said, "Hey, listen, since they signed to Jive, we have another band that you can sign over there." They took a look at us. They're like, "Nah, we'll see." Saw us on like whatever the day was, and then literally a week or 2 weeks later, like, we're going to ship you off to Germany. We're going to start doing photos. We'll get you with some recording that we've done some, pop music with and Backstreet Boys have written with, which is Max Martin and Dennis Pop, these guys. And we went off there and it was weird how it kind of happened. We were busting our asses for 2.5 years, almost 2 years, singing the same 4 songs. And then finally this got picked up and I was like, all right, this could be our big shot. We don't know what was going to happen or how well we were going to perceive overseas, but we gave it a shot.
Now that you said Disney, didn't you say Disney?
I worked at Disney.
So Justin used to be with Mickey Mouse Club or some shit. So is that where you met him?
Well, yeah, because some of the guys and some of the kids that worked at the Mickey Mouse Club went to my high school. So my high school was kind of also like a magnet program for theater arts. So when I was doing there's a couple one by the name of Jen McGill, other girl Mylan Brooks. They were on the Mickey Mouse Club as well, and they would shoot throughout the years, and that's how I knew JC a lot of times more than Justin. I hung out with JC and a couple other cats at that place. It's cool. Fun, interesting, but it was like a learning tool it was like a Saturday Night Live for kids, really, is what the Mickey Mouse Club back then at that time.
But at some point, even if it's in Germany, you guys blew up. You blew up at some point.
Blew up in Germany. Something clicked.
And then what? That's what I want to get to. Like, dude, that's what everybody dreams of.
Came over to the States and then started doing the things. Of course, you dream of doing these shows or aspirations, and people in Europe were doing these shows that we've never heard before. Vet and Dots and all these other shows. They're big over there, but what the hell's that? We came over here and started doing like Jay Leno and Rosie O'Donnell back in the day and all the shows. That's when things started cranking. I think the real big break happened when Backstreet actually, thanks Backstreet Boys, they actually turned down this Disney Channel show. that was called this In Concert, and they would do these concerts in different areas in the theme parks. So Backstreet turned it down. We said yes, and that actually took us off and basically kind of sent us into like a whole frenzy with fans and touring and stuff like that.
Other than that, your band was, at the time, they were sliding. You guys were sliding. Like, they came from blowing up in Germany.
Yeah.
Came to the States and were just okay. It wasn't clicking yet. And it was that Disney show that changed everything for them. If Backstreet wouldn't have canceled that.
Yeah, we would still been probably struggling. Who knows?
What would you have done?
Something in entertainment form. I definitely would have. I mean, for me, I've always wanted to do something in entertainment, even from high school, as far as doing musicals and one-act plays and stuff like that, Shakespearean plays. And that's kind of how I got into doing after stuff with NSYNC. I started doing Broadway. I did Rent on Broadway and did Little Shop of Horrors as well. So it's like, it was a cool kind of thing for me because it opened up that door. But also, it's almost like I need to prove myself because who knows, I could have sucked. And that was the other thing. People were like, "Oh, we'll get you the part." I'm like, "No, I want to audition." I'm like, "What do you mean? You know, we know you sing." I'm like, "Well, how do you know if I can do 8 shows a week? You don't know this shit. You don't know if I can do this." So I need to prove to myself that I can do it. I'm not just going to jump in. That's the thing that I think that, you know, for me, I've always been like, oh, just because this door opened up, I can just do it and not a big deal. I got to prove myself to doing stuff, whatever that may be.
Where'd you get that from?
Probably my dad, I think.
You're Italian, ain't you?
Yeah.
Big old Italian family.
Oh, yeah.
Now you were in big fat Greek weddings.
Yeah, interesting enough, yeah.
Weddings. I like that.
I played it.
Very weddings. Yeah.
Well, there's three of them.
Real Italian, but I played a Greek on TV. Yeah.
How'd you get that role?
Audition. Actually, it was in the height of with NSYNC. We were actually trying to work out a deal with Tom Hanks at the time.
They made you audition?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting enough how it happened because we were trying to do something with Tom Hanks where we were trying to do almost like a help, like a Beatles help. And again, this was the height of our career. We were talking about different deals. He didn't want to do it. Whatever we pitched to him, he pitched to us. We couldn't agree. Anyway, I went to the office just to say hi. One of the women that was out there, this girl Wendy, was like, "Hey," I walked in to say hi in the office and say hi to Tom. And they go, "There's an audition going on right now." She goes, "Honestly, you'd be perfect for this part." I'm like, "What part?" They go, "It's called My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It's a $5 million budget. It's not a really big budget.
Is that all it
It'd
was?
be great to $5 million.
Jesus.
So basically, hey, it was just a little film. Go in and audition. I'm like, "What is it? You'd be a cousin." And the thing is since you're recording, work around probably your schedule. It's probably nothing. I'm like, "All right, whatever." Gives me the sides. I literally go in there. Nia Vardalos, who's the writer and the who's going to be acting in it, and the casting lady. Casting lady kind of didn't really know who I was, but never knew that I can act anyway either. So we're at the sides, did the part, left, and I was like, "I ain't getting this thing. Whatever." Got a phone call and said, "Hey, we'd love for you to do it." Walked in, did the movie in Toronto. They go, "Here's your mom, here's your dad, there's your aunt, that's your sister, this is that. You got the lines? Yeah, let's go." Boom. Shot the film, sat on for like 2.5 years, did nothing. Then Nia started going around different Greek festivals to promote it. And as that happened, that ball effect, for some reason, when it came out, I think it was around April, around Easter time, and it just blew up. And then it was one of the biggest romantic comedies of all time.
And where was fucking Mulvihill?
I was saying, by the way, I was telling him I didn't think it was funny in the movie.
We saw it on a plane.
We saw it on a plane.
VHS tape and all.
VHS tape, and we saw it, and it was the Windex thing. It just wasn't really funny. And then she sent another copy of a few edit changes, made a huge difference in the film. Humongous difference.
So who was responsible for those edit changes?
Probably Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife,
probably Platone.
and Nia Vardalos, who wrote and was in the movie. So I was there, by the way, chilling.
You were there.
So you guys would, I would say, be considered in Hollywood.
Well, that's interesting. We're in Orlando, Florida.
I know, but Hollywood.
Yeah, and people say all the time,
if you call it that.
People tell
show
us.
business, movies, fucking packs,
everything. A little bit of everything.
Stadiums, Rita, Tom.
Yeah.
That's the Hollywood.
That's Hollywood.
Yeah, but we live not in Hollywood. So we're just two street kids trying to find our way through. And lucky enough, things have happened to happen, work out for us.
Do you get preferential treatment at Disney World?
You used to back in the day. Now I got to almost do things in order to do. You know what I mean? Of course, but
have you been on Guardians of the Galaxy?
Heck yeah.
It's a fucking
Fantastic.
kick-ass ride.
What
It's
song
awesome.
did you get? Do you remember?
No.
They play different songs. Which
I
is
know.
dope.
There's not that many songs. I think there were 6
or 7. Yeah.
But I don't remember because when someone asked me, I'm like, I don't fucking remember. But, the ride was unbelievable. Yeah. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy in California is
It's just the up and down. Yeah.
the Tower
Correct,
Terror,
Tower
whatever.
Terror.
So I didn't know even what this was, and I didn't know that the things
It
moved.
goes backwards. Yeah. And turns to the side. That's a whole feeling. It's a
Yeah,
different
so
feeling.
when I'm on that bitch and all of a sudden it's just so smooth and you're flipping around the galaxy, I'm like, dude, they killed it with this ride.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But I do the VIP tours, and I'm thinking, okay, well, let's go on this motherfucker again. She goes, oh no, you can only go on it once. I'm like, kind of shit is this?
Yeah.
And then I forget what freaking celebrity that I know says, hey, I read it like 10 times. I'm like, how the fuck you write it 10 times? They're like, oh, they just let us through the back. I'm like, shit, dude, I gotta be a celebrity.
Supposedly there's certain levels that they have, I think is what it is. I've never really, again, I don't even know for that matter. They didn't let you, they should let you on a bunch of times.
They should let you on, but they did have a rule. When it first opened. You must have went.
Did you go early when it opened up
a month ago?
Oh, wow.
Should have called us.
Now, you know the...
We would have took you on a bunch of times.
What's the... yeah, I will next time. What the fuck's it called? Flight of the Passage. Yeah, Avatar.
Oh, Avatar, yeah.
Yeah, I went on that when it first opened. That was bitching when it first opened. Second time...
Yeah. Oh, really? You kind of
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians is great.
So why you guys living in Orlando?
Moved there with my family in 1990. My parents were born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Want to move out of the neighborhood, the city, kind of just getting bad. And they just
but dude, you can live anywhere you fucking want now, right?
Now I can, of course.
So why there?
Why not? It's a nice little hub. I can get in and out very easily.
Hurricanes.
I'm in inland so bad that people are like, "Oh, it's gonna be crazy." A tree may fall. So we're so inland in Orlando.
Had it, but it's not
bad.
Dramatic as people think.
Is that where you met Rizzo and fucking Jared?
I met Rizzo in L.A. I stayed at his place when I used to go to L.A.
Aren't those guys fucking cool as shit?
They're fun.
Dude, it's funny as shit. They tell you stories about me. Fucking,
I'll tell you. I got tired of you. I was like, dude,
listen. When I get around Jared, he makes me feel like I'm fucking a celebrity. He's like, you remember when you was doing this and you was, and I'm like, I don't fucking really remember that. He goes, dude, you walked in, it was fucking beautiful, and I'm thinking, God damn, I am cool. All right.
Yeah, good people, really good people.
Guys, come on, guys.
You said something about why do we still live in Orlando? Part of what's made our thing successful is we'll go to LA for 3 days and we'll meet everybody in 3 days and then we'll leave. If we lived there, it would be more like, hey, we should get together.
Yeah.
That drags on for a year. You never get together. So it almost like eliminates any business that may not happen, but it also gives fuel to the ones that would. So we're there for 3 days. We're in New York for 3 days, meetings all day long, do what we have to do. And then we go back to where we have a home and it feels like a house and we're not caught up in all the craziness. I think it's worked for us. Yeah. It's been a good formula business-wise for us.
I feel it, even living when I was here, I was in LA actually for about 3 years living out there. I lived in Calabasas. And I never got a break though. Meaning like I was always like, there was a premiere. There's always something. When I'm home in Orlando, I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have FOMO anymore. Back in the day, obviously when I was younger, I kind of had that kind of stuff. But obviously as I get older, I'm like, I want to get in, got to do the business or whatever I got to do, see the people I need to see, have a little bit of fun, but I don't need to stay there. I don't need to marinate in there. I'm good.
So you mentioned someone was 26.
24, Chris, when he first started.
Did he feel like a fucking old man?
No, because I think his brain was probably younger than Justin's and his mentality. We were all young. You know what I mean? Like when we were young.
17, 14, that's pretty fucking young. Yeah. But like 24.
24,
God damn, dude, you're an adult. What are you doing with all these boys?
He was the granddad. Well, he was the ringleader to put it together because they wanted, Lou was the one that was basically get guys younger than you. It's kind of what they said. What he said.
Huh?
I'm looking in this age range. Find it.
I just assumed you were all about the same age.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've. It's funny because of how we kind of are, and I guess in a thing. Obviously now as we're older, everybody's kind of gone their separate ways and done certain things. But I think when we were together, I mean, of course, you know, I had to grow up fairly quickly, business savvy. Obviously, with the thing what happened with Lou, we had to really learn fairly quickly about just contracts and just stuff like that, and really kind of hone in on stuff and not let things slide anymore. Where it was like, oh yeah, they'll take care of that, or I trust that person. Well, no, let me see that now. I'm taking a look at that. Let me look at it.
There's a lesson for you, folks.
Yeah,
this is mainly an entrepreneur podcast, but there's business lessons and all that shit because it's business. At the end of the day, it's show business. That's what I was going to find out about Hollywood, but you know, most people that are in Hollywood, they won't talk about it because then they won't be in Hollywood very long.
Yeah, but the thing, that's the thing is I'm not deep in that Hollywood because I couldn't even tell you.
You ain't drinking adrenochrome?
We're not doing that. No.
I want to know because like that shit sounds fucking crazy. But dude, like I've talked to a few people that they won't say it on camera, but they're like, dude, I've been to some parties where there's some crazy shit going. So I'm thinking, okay, you must have been at those parties.
No, never. The only thing I've ever been to, and it was never even crazy, was a Playboy party. Hugh Hefner. I've gone to the Midsummer Nights parties a bunch of times.
How old were you then?
20s, Mid-20s.
So at 17, you weren't, like...
No.
When you started at 17, when did it start popping off?
Probably when I was about, 20, 21. Really.
So again, you
Like
had
4
to have
years later.
had freaking panties thrown at you and
Of
chicks
course.
in the back
was
wanting to do
interesting.
anything.
It was interesting because,
Moms
again,
that will do anything. That was the weird shit.
all of it. Oh,
Moms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at your face.
I got more of the moms than anything just because I looked older. That was the other thing. It was interesting. It was
You act
interesting.
like it's a reward.
No,
I got more of the
when I
moms
was
than
young,
any
it
of them.
was. It sounded like a reward, but it was crazy. Again, it was one of those times where, again, social media wasn't around, but you didn't know any better, or you didn't know anything. And,
Thank
honestly,
God, right?
Well, that too. But
What would
believe
we
it or
have
not, it wasn't that
seen?
crazy. I was just about to say it wasn't that crazy. As crazy as it may sound, it really wasn't. It was literally, oh my gosh, we might be trying to go to a club and get somebody underage in and know they're underage drinking. It wasn't like parties and orgies and stuff. It never went to that.
Come on.
I'm dead serious. No, we were too
Dude.
young.
No.
You're fucking
We were too young.
You're killing the
I'm
dream.
sorry to say. I know.
drugs,
That's what I
no
kept saying.
drugs.
Everybody's like sex, drugs, and rock. I'm like, no, it really
No
wasn't.
drugs.
Yeah.
I never, I never,
Well,
I never
that's
did
just
anything.
good choices.
Yeah,
They were drugs. You just didn't take them.
just take them. No.
You were offered drugs, I
Oh, yeah.
guarantee it.
Yeah, 100%.
And you had to have had tons of chicks wanting to throw it at you.
100%.
And you didn't participate,
Negative.
except the moms.
I wish, but yeah, no, a lot.
Your
Yeah,
wife-
I've gotten,
are you married now?
No, I'm divorced.
Are you
Dating somebody.
Dating? Are they listening?
If they are, they are, and if they're not, they're not.
See, that's probably why you're saying, and I didn't do nothing, honey.
No.
he's pretty open
That's
minded. I mean,
before.
Joe's
No,
an open book.
no. Again, I've never said I was. I never said I didn't do anything crazy, but I never said I was a saint.
Well, let me ask you this.
Shoot.
Is there a bunch of shit you wish you would have done now?
Oh, of course,
What are some of those things?
a lot.
Like, I guarantee there had to have been some famous person
Well, I
that
mean,
gave you an option that you passed that you wish you did.
No, I wish. Nah, never had that.
There's a few.
What about
To
Britney?
me?
What about
to you.
Britney Spears?
No, Britney's Jay. That was Jay's girl. That
I
was
know.
nothing to do with me.
Well, that's the question. Because didn't she cheat on him somehow?
Yeah, but that was like, oh God.
I bet you she feels stupid now, doesn't she?
Anybody probably, but anybody that's ever done, I don't know. I treated them like their sister to me. Like any of those kind of anybody that ever dated somebody else that was around that realm, I couldn't. And again, the same thing.
Well, that's
she
because
was
you're
so
a
much
good
younger.
dude. You don't bang your buddy's chicks.
It's a bro code.
At least for
Bro
6
code.
months.
Bro,
I think it's 6 months, isn't it?
is that the rule?
I think so. I listen. I think so. I don't do that shit.
I don't either. That's why I don't know.
What's funny is one time I had a buddy of mine, and well, I won't even say it. He might be listening. All I know is bro code. I like that. So back in the day, though, you hear the rumors. Well, that song's because Britney cheated on Justin, and I was always thinking, I wonder who with. Like, dude, if you're fucking with a celebrity, why would you be cheating with just a random? Unless that celebrity, like, beat you or something.
Right.
Unless maybe it was fucking you. Who knows?
No.
So I
That'd be
just figured
funny,
I'd ask.
no. I
was it
see where
you?
you're going at. That's interesting. A triangle. No, that's never. No. God, no. Lord,
If
no.
it were you, and I know it isn't, but if
100%
it
not.
were you and Justin found out, would you guys, would he be pissed right now, or he'd be like, fuck, you dirty bastard?
Well, that's probably back in the day. Yeah, probably it's
Way
in the
back.
past. It's in the past.
So he wouldn't care?
Probably not.
He shouldn't care. But
Now he probably. I mean, if it was
I
in the
might.
moment, of course.
I know, but I might be like,
He'd
fuck
be a little
you,
bitter. He'd be a little
dick.
bitter.
But, man, I tell you, half of my questions were based on fucking how much pussy you got. But I guess, I guess interview's over. Hey, thanks for coming. Hey,
Right?
thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
But yeah, that's a bummer. Did all of you not participate?
Because everybody kind of was dating somebody, and at that time I was with pretty much like my wife in a sense. I was dating her for almost dated for 10 years, almost married for 10 years.
Okay, well, good. I mean, that's good to hear.
Yeah, and I mean, again,
What's in his head did not happen.
Right.
And it sucks.
Yeah,
Everybody
people
asks
have that
questions like
misconception. People
What
do
you're
have that
thinking
misconception.
Well, because you
wasn't
just
like that.
assume, dude.
Right.
Of course.
One of the most popular boy bands ever, screaming chicks.
Yeah.
But
and then you look.
you start to think of how old are you? What's your ID? That's what I had to worry about every time. No BS. Anybody that came to talk to me, I'm like, how old are you? And they're like 21. I'm like, come on. And usually the mom would be like, oh no, yeah, they'll vouch. Yeah, they're older. They're 18, and they're not. And I'm like, I'm not even going to have a conversation with you because I don't want to even pursue that or even get into that. And I think that's kind of why we had a good head on our shoulders in that sense. And like I said, I think even if social media was around, I think we honestly would be okay.
Well, I was talking to Vince Neil from Motley Crue.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Different
time.
Yeah.
different band, different mindset, different time, different.
And I don't know, was that my time?
That was my.
It was our time in a sense. Yeah, I was born in '77, but so I mean, and I'm always listening to '70s music, '80s. I'm more '80s.
Well, dude, Vince and Motley Crue, he had some stories, and it was like freaking my God, man. And
they would be like doing things like literally right back at the stage, underneath the stage, during the shows and stuff.
He could point at as many as he wanted, and the security would just go grab them, even from their boyfriends sitting out there in the audience, just come on back, beat it.
I think a lot more women nowadays have a lot more morals. They're like, I'm not doing that if you're going to do it with that woman. Get out of here.
Hey,
I better be the only
they're getting on the tour bus. Next town, beat it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One after another.
See, never did that.
Well, and I would say, but you can get diseases, but I'm sure.
Well, that's the other thing. I like my penis. I don't want it to fall off. I like it. I don't want it to fall off.
So listen, at the end of the day, at some point that shit ended because NSYNC's no more.
Well, it's interesting because we went on, I guess, no more or hiatus, but we just came out with a song for Trolls 3, which in a sense.
The whole group?
Yeah, whole group. That's why, like I said, this whole strike thing. We literally were just there yesterday, did a whole red carpet thing for the movie because SAG obviously just got lifted, so we were able to scrounge around and get some sort of premiere done. But we haven't sang.
SAG, what's that? Is that what your balls do?
The union.
That too.
It's the union. The union strike ended, so they're able to promote their projects.
I was just joking. I know what SAG is. I think I am SAG, by the way.
Yeah, you have to be.
Well, when I was little, I was going to try to be an actor and be a movie star, and I had to get into SAG, and so I don't think I paid my dues in 20 years, so I'm probably not SAG, but I know what SAG is. I'm just messing with you.
You're really an actor, huh?
Yeah, I'm still a fucking actor. I'm just unemployed.
Most actors are.
Yeah, but one of these days, the story is simple. I got, the bug. Matter of fact, when you said you worked at Universal Studios, I used to go to California, sneak onto the Universal lot from Lankershim Boulevard. Yeah. I'd walk right by security. Like if you acted like you were somebody and you knew what the fuck you were doing, they didn't stop you at all. And I'd walk in, I'd get on all the different sets. I'd sit there. I'd come out of these back doors from these studios and these little fucking trams are going by and girls would start freaking out thinking I was somebody, right. And they'd come up, can I get your autograph? I was like, fuck yeah, this is cool. I want this. So anyway, I auditioned for a couple things and I got a starring role in a movie, and the producer's son got out of a drug rehab and they gave him my part instead. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're like, hey, he pays for the movie. He can do whatever he wants. So I said, oh shit, then I just need to get rich real quick and be the producer. They said, well, whoever pays for the movie, dude, decides. Yeah. And so I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go get rich. And I didn't realize it'd take me this long. But now that I am, dude, I guarantee you I'm gonna make a fucking movie. I'll probably gamble, let's say 5-10 mil, because you can make a pretty good flick now for 5-10 mil. Yeah. I'm going to gamble, and I either have a kick-ass souvenir to show my grandkids.
But why not? Exactly. Why
not? Dude, I pull a fucking, what's his name? Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Dude, those
Good
guys.
Hunting. Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude. But I think movie star is probably the epitome of cool, except for rock star.
Yeah.
Because fucking rock star, dude, what are you talking about? You got to be, that's like the epitome of cool.
It's always interesting. You always see the athletes that always want to be the rock stars or rappers and stuff like that. And then you have the artists that always want to be athletes. You always see, a lot of celebrities always play. Again, I can't play golf. I am non-athletic at all. I'm horrible. People are always like, oh, you play golf? I'm like, no, I don't. Awful. But like, as far as interesting how it flips, how people want to be, either or. They have
grass is always greener on the other side. So what's the biggest amount of money that NSYNC ever made you? Like, in other words, did it make you like just stupid money, or did you get screwed?
Yeah, when you guys did your stadium tour. They were out for about 3 months.
That's it?
Yeah, they had 50 shows, stadiums.
Is that nonstop fucking work?
It was a grind, but it was we was piggyback more. We had like a day off or two. Sometimes we do 2-3 shows or 1 or 2 and then have, because obviously the stage was so big that they had to piggyback.
Why don't you guys do it again?
Well, that's the whole thing. We just, like I said, getting to the Trolls 3 thing, coming out with this song kind of led to that now, in the sense of having a conversation about it. Obviously, this NSYNC is a brand. It's a business. So, not knowing exactly the magnitude of when the song came out, how of a big magnitude where people are like, where the hell's the tour? Where's this? Or what are we doing this? We want this. And you're kind of like, all right, there's money to be made. I mean, it's amazing because the women now are literally adult going, I'm going to get my 401k. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to refinance I'm going to mortgage. I'm going to do all this stuff just so I can buy tickets to go see your concert. What do I have to do? And it's amazing how these, they want to see the concert. They want to relive kind of what we
Of
did back in the day,
course.
which is great. Again, it's a great.
So why don't you do it?
5 guys all together had to have that conversation, and some obviously are wanted for certain reasons, whether it be business, whether it be financial, whether it be songwriting, whether it be producing.
Where the fuck's Mulvihill?
In the middle of the whole thing.
This is where you come in.
Exactly. Right.
Dude, set it up for me. Get all 5 in a room. I'll come in and I'll fucking close the deal.
Done.
Because, dude, that would make a shit ton of money.
Outside of the money, it's more of a mental thing too, because these guys haven't done anything in 20 something years. Right?
Yeah. 23, 12 years.
And most of you, any of you broke?
No.
But so most of you got money, so it ain't about the money anymore.
It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice, but it's not about. Yeah,
I know, but if I would have been the one that blew all my money and shit, I'd be like, "Come on, Joey,
let's do it.
Come on, Justin, let's do it one more time."
But that's that's the reason why they really haven't done. They've done their own projects. He did Broadway. He did movies, hosting shows. It's almost like they found their own personal niche. And now that they came back together to do the Trolls, you can feel there's a feeling, there's a real energy that is giving people.
Dude, it's NSYNC, bro. It's fucking nostalgia.
Yeah, but when you're in it, just like your facility here, you think it's no big deal. It's cool as shit. We think it's cool as hell. When you're in it, you don't realize what it is. You see it every day. You feel it every day. You really don't. But it takes something like Trolls and cartoons and some really weird, obscure thing to make you sit back and go, holy shit, there's a mental demand for this.
Well, in case you guys don't understand and realize, because again, a lot of people, like, they think I'm cooler than I think I am. So I understand completely.
I see it.
But hey, in reality, that's obvious, dude. Like, you put an NSYNC tour together, there'll be so many screaming chicks. They'll all be older.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's fine. They got money.
Dude, I guarantee you they'll bring their daughters. Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing. It's letting that generation and them seeing it. And I think it's interesting to see, like I said, going down that rabbit hole where these people are going down these rabbit holes now. These young kids that have never knew us or never heard of us. Now that they've seen Trolls, they're like, oh, this is NSYNC. Oh, okay, this is cool. And now they want to see concerts. They want to bring their kids to the show or their parents or whatever the frick.
Well, so if you can make that kind of dough after 3 months of tour, I'd be figuring out how to do another tour or two. Yeah. Maybe like, or two.
I mean, I'd do that, residency, something, but,
the problem conversation. With you said about everybody wants to be a rock star. The one thing in the rock star game is everybody thinks it's never going to end. So you make crazy money in 3 months. You go out on another tour, you do this, and then all of a sudden it starts to slide down. But you develop a lifestyle where you're flying private and you have a house in New York and a house in LA and a house in Cabo and a house here. And then it just stops for you, for entertainment, that is. And somebody else comes in and takes that slot. That's the one thing that I regret 20-something years ago. And these guys actually did good. But there's so many friends of ours that had so much success.
They blew it all.
They didn't so much, but they didn't know any better.
They
didn't pay taxes.
Well, they don't teach you that shit.
No.
And every agent, well, I shouldn't say every agent, but it's good for them to spend the money because then they have to work more. It's more commission.
Right.
I mean, we've heard of it.
Yeah. The more they work, the more obviously management. No, that's why you make me work a lot.
So, what made you the most? NSYNC or shit you've done since?
Oh wow.
In a short amount of time, I would say
NSYNC. Yeah.
NSYNC made the most money in a short amount of time. Because you got to think you're selling 50, 60,000 seats.
A night.
Times.
And then merch, you're thinking. Everything else. And then, so, it's pretty crazy.
So, if you calculate it all, like you got the hot dog place. Mm-hmm. Now, by the way, you say you made it perfect. You want to franchise that eventually?
I want to eventually, but yeah.
Because I got a lot of listeners, a lot of entrepreneur dudes, big wigs, little wigs, all kind of wigs.
Yeah, we've done the Fat Ones hot dogs. I've been doing that for a while now, just in Orlando, Florida.
Profitable?
Yeah.
But not more profitable than NSYNC.
No. Gosh,
do you have names reminiscent of NSYNC in the menu?
It's funny you say that.
Well,
like a fucking Timberlake
we have
dog.
one called a boy bander, which are small mini hot dogs, is what we've had before.
Why
they're
small
flavors,
mini ones?
Because they're different flavors. So it has and there's 5.
I got you.
5 bands, 5 guys.
I thought you were making reference to.
You could if you want to, but it's up to your imagination. But we have one called the boy bander, and it was basically a flight of hot dogs that you can sample, which were the ones that we have. The bigger ones we have a normal size, and then we have the fat one, which literally is like a foot. It's more of a full on.
And what'd you call that one? The Joey?
The fat one. It's called the fat one.
The fat one.
Well, that's the Fatone.
Yeah.
There's no that's no coincidence, right?
No. Well, we did a bunch of what it was is for the actual menu was like the baritone, anything that would had to do with me as far as me singing. I sang baritone in the group. There's one called The Big Guy, which was an a cappella group I was in. There's one called The Angelo, which was the character that I played in Big Fat Greek Wedding. So the menu has all these different names from all the stuff that I've done throughout the years.
And that's in Orlando?
That's in Orlando.
We had Guy Fieri come out. He tried them. We had
Donnie
Donnie Wahlberg come out and do it. And Practical Jokers came out. Ed Sheeran, which was a crazy story. He was in Orlando, and he asked if Joey would come cook him hot dogs at the arena. So he went down to the arena for an hour and a half. He hung out, and they made hot. It was the weirdest, coolest thing I've seen in a long time.
Well, dude, everybody loves fucking hot dogs, dude.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri, I was on a cruise, and they had a Guy Fieri burger joint, and I'm like fucking addicted to those. And there's nothing out there except there's one in a airport in California.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he put those everywhere? Those are some good ass burgers.
But he puts a couple of different places. Yeah, I don't know why. He does a few in certain areas, and then he has a Chicken Guy, which is another restaurant that he has out there.
Yeah. So this is like where I can, come into it, because like, I'm trying to figure out like, why aren't you guys on tour? Because like, what's the problem? If everybody wants to do it, what's the problem? Because like, I'll get involved. We'll get her done as long as I'm getting a little piece from my niece.
Of course.
Because dude, I'm telling you, NSYNC could fucking make a shit ton. I know the Backstreet Boys came here one time.
Yeah, they've been
two
still doing
times.
stuff.
Yeah, they killed
Fuck yeah, dude. They were packed. Like fucking everybody was going. I'm like, it's the Backstreet Boys. What the fuck are you doing? They're like, oh my God, are you crazy?
They got great records out. It's a great night out. It's great songs. You sing every song with them. It's a good show.
And I think that's what sets us apart from all the other guys is these guys have gone back together. We haven't done it yet. We have yet. Literally,
you need
20
to.
years. I'd love to.
It's a matter of who's stopping it. Someone's stopping it.
I think all of us. No, all of us are stopping
Justin.
it. But all of us are stopping it in the sense of everybody has their own projects and what they're doing. So we're trying to figure out, because it's going to be a commitment. No lie. It's going to be a commitment of rehearsals and putting stuff together. Do we want to do a new album or not? If that's what's going to happen, do we want to take it to that step, or do we want to do a reunion, do a tour, and call it a day and say thank you everybody for being here and we're done?
Why don't you just start with that? Why you got to make a big fat decision?
Well, depending on what's going on, because Justin has his own album coming out right now. I'm actually probably going to be going on tour next year with actually AJ from Backstreet to do a small leg of 15 city tour.
It competes.
I'm not going to compete, but just different. But just busy. No, just busy.
People are busy.
Just calendars. So if we're going to do a tour, we'd have to take time to do that. If we're going to do, because obviously we won't going to be doing like a theater.
Kids.
That too. Yeah.
He has kids. So
Chris
everybody's trying to figure it out. The Trolls thing really injected a holy shit feeling with everybody.
I just can't believe that you guys all didn't realize it ahead of time.
Oddly enough, we did.
Did not.
We knew that we were going to be like, okay, people are going to miss us, and that'd be cool if we did something like this. I never thought, honestly, even the same thing when we did, Star on the Walk of Fame. When we got the Star on the Walk of Fame, when we walked out, whole streets were blocked off. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I really didn't. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a magnitude for the many people to be out there in LA just to see us get a star.
Do you get recognized everywhere you go?
Fair enough, yeah.
Do you get swamped?
No, and I'm happy I don't.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm so glad I'm not in that kind of position. Like,
well, I would agree with you, because, dude, believe it or not, I have a little celebrity from just a million or so followers. And, I like when people come up because it's like flattering, but not a lot do. If I were getting swarmed, like, dude, I don't know if I'd like that.
It's not fun.
So you used to get swarmed like a son of a bitch.
And that's why, we used to have security guards with us 24/7.
So how would that feel?
It felt weird. You were never alone. You never had time to yourself. I like time to myself sometimes now. I like just, hanging out or shooting the shit with somebody. I don't want 8 million people on top of me or being like, hey, you okay? You need anything? No, I'm good. I can get my own drink. Thank you. I can get it my own ass. You know what I mean? It's like obviously we're a little younger, but we have security guards that was with us all the time. Now it's like, I don't need anybody. If I'm in obviously a concert, if I'm doing a show, I'll have maybe security with me or something like that because people know I'm there. But if I'm going to a concert to see somebody else or a show, I don't bring security with me. I don't bring. Some still celebrities do. I don't. No reason to. I'm not in that position. Which is good.
So what lessons did you learn along the way, if you can think of a few, that you would now make sure everybody knows moving forward, whether they're going to be a rock star, movie star, or motherfucking business owner? What are some of the common, get it in writing, read it yourself? Like you, dude, when you said that, that's me, dude. When people come up to with an agreement, I used to look at it. What's it say? They go, well, it just says we get this, and I'm like,
no.
Well, I had a couple partners in this company. Now, this company isn't like freaking $1 billion company, but it's doing decent coin. Mm-hmm. And I bought them out since, but at some point they tried to fucking vote me out. I'm like, I started it, you dumb fucks. You don't vote me out. So I got both sides of the sword. they were getting together as a group saying, sorry, Brad, we voted you out. But I told them to go look at the articles of incorporation because I put myself what's called a super vote in, which means no matter what percentage I own, I'm running shit. So my vote equals more than any collective other vote. So really, I was in charge, and they just didn't read the fucking thing that they signed. So I fired them, but I couldn't take my equity back that I gave them, so I had to buy them out. But still, I've whacked people because they didn't read.
Right.
Well, not people, them. And I've been whacked because I didn't read. So that was one. So lessons like that, what have you learned?
Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block actually told me one time, know your power. And it wasn't like in the meaning of like, you throw your weight around, but sometimes people are going to run you over, try to run you over. Just like that. Know your power, know what you have. And that knowledge, just like you're just saying, as far as reading those contracts and knowing exactly what it's all about, know the information. And a lot of times, sometimes I even say, actually, Josie, another one you used to say, coming to mind, be the dumbest person in the room. What do you say? What's that? What's the saying that you say?
I say you want to be the dumbest person. You don't want to be the
You
smartest
want
guy
to,
all the
but
time.
dude, I find it very difficult.
Act like the dumbest person. Yeah. That's the other one. Don't be. Act.
I was going to say.
Sorry, my bad.
Well, you hear those people.
in this room.
Listen, you hear those people say, you want to be the dumbest person in the room. And I always think, yeah, that sounds fucking good, but that's very rarely the case. For me, anyway.
No, but observe. You know what I mean? Be like the dumbest person at first. Look at it, observe. That's what I mean. I definitely watch, observe, listen, take the information. Obsess a lot of times. Sometimes back in the day, I used to jump at the gun. Or I'm like, yeah, let's go. And now we find that, I think for me and Joe too, as a business, we find the happy medium now where we do take the chances, but we also make sure, okay, what is this going to do? Or how is this going to parlay? What is this going to work? I mean, again, for my business model, just in general, for me, when we started together, even him being a manager going, okay, what should we do? And I didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm like, well, I don't even know. They know me as NSYNC. Nobody knows me as anything else. Get a phone call, do Dance with the Stars. First show. Well, okay, well, nobody wants to see me dance. First season goes. He goes, well, let's see what happens the second season. Like, how many people? A couple million people watch the first season. What about second? About 8 or 9 million. Well, what about the third? Now we're going 15 million. There's something there. If I get on there and that many people see me, hopefully maybe that might branch into something else. I did season 4.
It always does, doesn't it?
Well, work leads to work. That's the other one.
Well, then you're not necessarily taking Knight's advice.
Sometimes I am, but not all the time.
Because it's great advice. Know your power. I'm the same way, dude. You guys ever heard of Patrick Bet-David? Big ass entrepreneur, just sold his company for $300 million. Yeah. He was telling me the other day, Brad, you're fucking and I'm like, yeah. That's what I was saying earlier with Jared. And this, like, dude, I do the same shit, but that's because, dude, it's just me. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
There's nothing else.
Here's the business side of that.
I still feel stupid acting like I'm somebody.
Well, again, here's the truth, and this is the success from Joey, myself, I think from you, is that until you read your own bio, you don't really think you've done anything. Okay, so if you look at all the stuff you've done, because we've had it, he looks at all the stuff he's done, he's like, that's me. I look at some of the things that I've done, I'm like, that's me too. There's a sense of we haven't really done anything. And you really believe that. So you walk through life still trying stuff and experimenting, and I think that's part of the success model that we've had. So we know the power of whether Joey shows up at an event or does this or that, but we also don't know what the next move is. So just like the way we became successful, we just open ourselves up to try a bunch of new shit and never think that we know it. Well, we're 100% know that. We know this. So the whole journey is nothing but trying stuff. You like pizza because you tried it. I like pizza because I tried it, not because somebody told you to. So we have zero problem making a failure happen. We have zero problem making a mistake, but we have a problem not doing. That's like the key to the success.
Yeah. So you want to say no more often.
Yeah. Correct.
So you put yourself in a position to say
yeah. And I found myself a lot more definitely saying no, 100%. It used to be yes all the time.
Feels good though sometimes.
100%.
Especially when they come back with a quadruple offer that you look and go, shit.
Fuck, I almost said yes.
Yeah.
It's happened many times. I mean, there's things where we've got approached. I'm like, I don't want to do it. And he's like, well, really? I'm like, I really don't want to do it. Well, and he's like, they really want you to. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Give him a number and throw a number and see what happens. And they'd come back and you go, all right, maybe I might do this in certain aspects of that. But again, we love to where we throw shit on the wall certain times and see what sticks. Obviously, certain things are well plotted out and things are, thought through. But I think there's a lot of things that we take those chances. And I know a lot of people, when they're in a certain level, they don't want to take that chance because they feel like something's going to make them go down or not be a relative as they wanted to be, or in the limelight as they should be.
So what is I always say, what can the Bomb Squad do for you? Like, in other words, if you could like say, man, what I'm really looking for is, like you said, franchising the fat one. I might have a franchising conglomerate that listens. What can the Bomb Squad do for you guys?
Yeah, no, that would be 100%.
That'd be one.
Franchise? How do they reach out to you?
They can reach out through all my information is on your Instagram.
Real Joey Fatone.
You don't have Instagram?
I do.
Mulvey, what is it?
Joe Mulvey. Yeah, Joe Mulvey. Yeah. I don't know how to think of it. Shit.
At Joe Mulvey. M-U-L-V-I.
I'm at Real Joey Fatone. At Real Joey Fatone.
At Real Joey Fatone.
Not the fake one. Not opposed to fake.
That's right.
That's what happened when I first.
Why'd you at Real?
Because somebody else had my name at first.
Oh, really?
And I had to put Real, yeah. Somebody actually had it before. This was like earlier Instagram days.
My Instagram's the Real Brad Lee.
See?
But it's been there since, like, I think I started the whole Real thing. I'm joking. I might not be, but from the very fucking get-go, a buddy of mine got Bradley on Twitter. I think Twitter was the only thing out. Mm-hmm. Was Twitter first?
I think so. Facebook was first.
MySpace. Yeah, MySpace.
Thank you.
Well, on Twitter, this fucker got at Bradley and started tweeting out stupid shit like fucking, and then he'd show me what he's tweeting. And I'm like, dude, who cares? No one's on that fucking thing. And then I'm like, dude. So finally I'm like, dude, knock that shit off, dude. You're literally I'm starting to hear about it now. Right. So it's funny, but stop. Kept fucking doing it. So I had to get one, the Real Bradley. And then I started fucking saying that guy's not fucking Bradley. And then that led to a lot of this that I did. And I started doing training content for sales and closing and persuasion. So I started to get known because of my this company here, online training system. I started getting known at all the car dealerships and sales organizations around the world. And when I'd walk in there in person, they would call and they'd say, Brad Lee is here. And they'd say, and then the receptionist would always go, no, like the Real Brad Lee. He's right here. Like, I couldn't believe it. So I'm like, there's another reason. But the real reason is because this fucker took my name.
I like the Real. The other one. I like number 2.
I appreciate you guys coming in and spending some time with the Bomb Squad. Folks, if you guys, want to do some franchise, make some money, if you think NSYNC's reunion tour would be huge. Again, I don't know why. I mean, dude, you got to know your power. It's NSYNC for Pete's sake.
Yep.
Like, my daughter called, and she's 30-something. 37, I think.
Right in the wheelhouse.
She fucking called and she said, if you don't FaceTime me when Joey's there, you're not my dad anymore. And I said, why would I fucking do that? She goes, are you kidding me? Like, number one, he was my favorite. Number two, I spent my whole entire fucking life with NSYNC. Dude, her and all her friends would be spending, and dude, they're not cheap tickets anymore. No. You can charge some fucking stupid tickets. Like, I sent my kids to Taylor Swift.
I've heard, yeah. I've even bought Beyonce tickets. I know.
Yeah. Dude.
Any of those kind of tickets.
Let's go.
Good. I know. I'm down.
Hey,
I'm ready.
who do you got to call?
A meeting. That's what we got to call. Call a meeting.
Folks, as always, appreciate you. Until next time, keep it real.
Like, you got to drink some. You just don't fit in the culture, right? So I get one. I go to any place. I'm like, what's the best tequila you have? Don't be bringing. There was a tequila bar in LA. They had $500 shots. That's a little bit expensive. But I'll get like $50 to $70 real tequila. Not any kind of Patron. Patron's, no offense, not Patron.